No matter where you're watching this from, your bloodline carries a story of survival. Every culture has a chapter of unimaginable pain in its history. A time when simply holding onto your identity means fighting for your life. We all share this ancestral memory. When we tune in to Eurovision, we expect glitter, wind machines, and catchy pop hooks. We rarely expect to come face to face with a raw, historical truth. But this year, Croatian's folk pop band LELEK wrote a song called Andromeda. And if you think this is just another beautiful ethnic ballad about the stars, you are missing a profound secret hidden right in plain sight. If you look closely at LELEK's performance and their music video, you will notice delicate, dark symbols marking their hands and faces. This is not just makeup. This is not an edgy aesthetic for the cameras. These marks are the key to a forgotten, centuries-old reality from the Balkans. What exactly are these symbols? And how do the lyrics of Andromeda turn a historical trauma into a modern anthem? Today, we are decoding the true story behind Croatia's entry. By the end of this video, you will never listen to this song the same way again. Let's dive in. If you Google the word Andromeda, you will find two things: our neighboring galaxy and the princess from Greek mythology who was chained to a rock, offered as a sacrifice to a monster to save her people. It is a powerful metaphor. But LELEK is not thinking about outer space, and they are not thinking about Greek myths. They are thinking about a real, historical monster and the agonizing sacrifices made in Balkans. To understand this song, we have to travel back in time, during the centuries of Ottoman rule over regions like Bosnia, Herzegovina, and Dalmatia. The local Christian populations faced a constant, terrifying threat known as devshirme, or blood tax. Young boys were abducted to become janissaries, while girls were taken away to harems or forced into slavery. Imagine the absolute terror of a mother, knowing her child could be stolen at any moment. To prevent this, families resorted to a heartbreaking yet genius defense mechanism, a practice called Sicanje. Mothers realized that marking their children with permanent Christian symbols made forced conversion to Islam virtually impossible under the strict interpretation of the invaders. They created a primitive ink using ash, charcoal, honey, and, most devastatingly, their own breast milk. Using sharp needles, they would pierce the skin of their daughters and sons, usually when they were just young children. They tattooed crosses, solar circles, and ancient Illyrian symbols on their hands, chests, and foreheads. Try to comprehend that level of desperate love. A mother intentionally inflicting excruciating physical pain on her own child, permanently scarring them, just to save them from being taken. It was a shield made of scars. This is exactly what the lyrics of Andromeda are crying out about. When you translate the Croatian text, it hits you like a ton of bricks. The band sings, "While you light the candle, ask your grandmother why she gave birth to daughters in fear, why many chose the graveyards. Our mothers did not give birth to slaves." So when we talk about Andromeda, we are not talking about stars colliding in the night sky. We are talking about the collision of the history and trauma. This song is a monument to the permanent ink that marked generations. Decoding the real, hidden depths of Eurovision is exactly what we do here every week. So if you love looking past the glitter as much as I do, make sure to subscribe so we can explore the next story together. The Ottoman Empire fell a long time ago. The exact circumstances that forced mothers to perform Sicanje are safely in the past. But let's be honest, the vulnerability of people in times of conflict, the unimaginable cruelty they face, and the desperate need to protect their children, that hasn't disappeared. This is where Andromeda elevates from a historical account into a masterpiece of genetic and historical memory. Listen to the absolute heartbreak in these specific lines. All the scars carved to the bone, no mother will ever forgive you. On the table of shame, gold from the necklace, while they wash their hands with the blood of our wounds. This is not a pop song. This is an indictment. They are singing about the literal and metaphorical scars passed down from generation to generation. But what started as an act of sheer terror eventually transformed. For the young people in the Balkans reviving this tradition today, these ancient symbols have become a badge of honor. When LELEK stands on the Eurovision stage wearing these motifs, they are reclaiming the narrative. They took the deepest wounds of their history and turned them into armor. A profound story means nothing without the right delivery. LELEK relies heavily on traditional Balkan polyphony to bring this history back to life. If you listen to the opening verses, their vocal delivery is incredibly restrained. It is soft, fragile, almost like a whisper. It sounds exactly like a mother singing a lullaby in the dark, desperately trying to soothe her child, while piercing their skin with a needle. But as the song builds toward its climax, the vocals completely shatter that quiet intimacy. They transition from a soft lullaby into a piercing, open-throated Balkan wail. The very name of the band, LELEK, literally translates to a cry of sorrow or a lament. When they hit those final, towering notes, it is no longer just a pop performance. It is an ancestral cry tearing through the modern arena. However, to fully grasp the weight of Andromeda, we have to look at another, much darker interpretation, circulating in the Balkans. A recent Croatian video essay completely flips the narrative of survival. According to this perspective, Sicanje was not just a clever way to avoid slavery. It was a conscious death sentence, because the invaders demanded conversion, and holding these Christian tattoos made conversion unacceptable. Wearing these marks meant choosing execution if defeated. The lyrics, "Why many chose the graveyard" and "Lead me to the stars" are not metaphors for survival. They are literal description of choosing martyrdom and ascending to heaven. The song even features the harsh chant "Izdajice," traitors, which this theory interprets as an explicit condemnation of those who abandoned their identity and converted. But the essayist takes it even further, arguing that LELEK is using this historical trauma as a sharp, modern political weapon. She connects the themes of the song directly to the current wave of mass migration in Europe, citing alarming demographic statistics, such as white British births falling to 56% in England and violent crime rates surging. She claims that Andromeda is actually a controversial anti-migration anthem. In her view, the band is trying to galvanize indigenous Europeans against what she describes as a modern Islamic invasion, urging them to aggressively defend their culture and the borders before it's too late. Whether you view Andromeda as an anthem of survival and cultural pride, or a fierce controversial nationalist call to arms, one thing is certain. It is a complete rejection of Eurovision cliches. It refused to be sung in English. It refused to be a shallow, digestible bop. Instead, LELEK proves something profound. Real agonizing history and authentic pain do not need a translation to give you goosebumps. This is not a song you dance to in the fan zone. This is a song that makes an entire arena hold its breath. And because of this incredibly deep lyricism and the sheer power behind it, I believe Croatia stands as one of the absolute strongest contenders for the win this year. Now I turn it over to you. Which of these theories do you believe? Is Andromeda purely a historical tribute to survival, or is it a controversial modern political warning? The comment section is going to be intense on this one. So drop your thoughts down below. If you want to survive the pre-Eurovision chaos with more analytical deep dives, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.